All right, so I am live with you guys, and I am going to be trying to do some list building with y'all. Depending on, what you guys want and what you guys are trying to do. So, welcome, guys. This is the first time I'm actually going to be able to sit down and talk with y'all. This is a lot of fun. I'm excited to kind of see what you guys have in store for me because I'm interested in helping y'all build lists and helping you kind of flesh out what you want and just help you guys find out the type of list you really want, maybe give some insight or some help however I can. I know I seem a little washed out. That is definitely the fact that there's still a little bit of sunlight out there and my camera is on. Sorry that I'm a little late. I wanted to start at 5, but I was doing some cardio and I'm a little sweaty right now. And I'm happy you can't smell me. Not that I actually smell really whenever I just finished cardio. But yeah, let's see, I did a 15-minute cardio session. I did a 1 minute jump rope with a 30-second break, 10 rounds, which is 15 minutes. So high intensity interval cardio training. So if you guys wanted to do that yourselves, do it. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. But yes, I am a personal trainer now. I will be having a different job starting in December, and we will reach that, and I will make an announcement when it gets closer to around that time for you guys, because I think that it's going to change a little bit here. I will probably be taking a 4-month hiatus because there's some things I'm going to have to get done in those 4 months, and I'm not actually going to be around any computers, and I'm not going to be able to have my equipment with me. So after those 4 months, though, I will be back on Legion and making a ton of content again. And in the meantime, I'm going to be having some people, help out and make some videos as well. Now, let me see. Now, in the Discord, if you're not in the Discord, you can actually go in the Discord and live Q&A right now. That'll kind of get you guys the ability to kind of talk with me. I'm going to go ahead and type that now that I am live. If anyone wants list building help. So let me just put that in there. Boom. Everyone. All right, so yeah, there we go, guys. I will go ahead and actually probably start just, making a little list for you guys. If y'all have anything in the chat that if there's something specific that you want me to go over, I can. But, all right, let's actually, you know what? Let's see. Let's go through. I just did a Rebel video today, and I just did Empire, so let's do some sort of fun stuff. I wish I could get one of you guys to just be like, yo, hey, Sean. Okay. If you are in the Discord, feel free to chat in there. And if not, feel free to kind of give me something to build, or give me something to give me a unit. I'm going to ask him to basically give me a a unit that he wants me to kind of go over. I think this is a little off. I'm not sure how long or how far off it is. Let's kind of get it caught up the best we can. But yeah, a list with Hondo. Okay, so let's do a list with Hondo. Is it any? I guess any faction. Is there a specific faction that you've got in mind? And let's see. I wish I could do some what's it called? Ooh, whoops. Some lo-fi for you guys. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, let me know if there's any specific, faction that you've got. I'm happy to kind of go over whatever. Empire is easiest. So let's see something tougher like Rebel. Oh, yeah, okay. So let's go with what up, Grant? Oh my, I'm awake for this one, says Pally. Hey. I know, what the heck? How are you awake right now? So I need to go over a Rebel Hondo list because Sean wants me to have a terrible time. I'm just kidding. All right, let's take a look at Hondo first. And maybe you can kind of see the thought process behind a lot of stuff. Where is Hondo? There he is. All right, so Arsenal, disengage, a whole bunch of fun keywords. Let's see. Nimble, reliable. All right, so Hondo, let's see. He wants some more tokens based off that, but he also has uncanny luck and arsenal, however many, and he's got a gun, but he doesn't surge, and he doesn't have any training, so there's no way to really get anything there. So let's see. Frag grenades give him only surge to crit and a red dice. All of these basically just give him a single red dice. Concussion is blast. He doesn't have any kind of... So let's do like something suppressive, just because that's for fun. And, give him the ability to surge to crit in case he wanted to, especially with the fact that he's got... he could have a red, 3 black, and a white with Arsenal 2. And maybe Arsenal 3. I mean, he could make it suppressive, surge to crit, and a whole bunch of fun stuff. So that could be good. And with independent dodge, he's going to get some dodges without an order, so he's probably not getting any orders. And, okay, independent dodge doesn't really matter. Hacked comms could be okay. Comms jammer, no, because if someone gets an order and with his command cards, it's just good business. This round, Hondo cannot be suppressed or panicked. He can perform a free move action during his activation. First time Hondo moves into melee with enemy unit this round. After the move is resolved, Hondo removes all suppression tokens on him, and that enemy unit gains the tokens removed. Then enemy removes all the green tokens on them and gains all of those. This round, when an allied unit begins its activation on the battlefield and within range 1 of Hondo, if he has a face-up order token, and if he is not panicked, he's going to gain suppression. If he does, the activating unit gains an aim, dodge, or a surge token. May gain suppression if he does, the activating unit. Let's see. An allied unit. Oh, the allied unit. Okay, so I mean, Comps Jammer could actually be fine, so let's just stick with that. Make him 98 points. And just for the heck of it, he's going to have nimble, reliable. He doesn't have infiltrate or anything, so recon intel could be good, but he's going to be very cheap and he could die fairly quickly. So let's just go with prepared supplies. Let's make him try to live a little bit longer. Marksman might have breathed some life into Hondo and Gar. Yeah, maybe. And I think that we could probably do a Gar list with him in it. That could be a lot of fun. So let's see. All right, we've got Hondo. We've got our operative. Operatif. What commander do we want with this? So, let's see. If we... Comms jammer... I really think, hacked comms could actually also be really good. Maybe with, with Han. If you have Han, hacked comms could be good because maybe you play Han's 1-pip. And then Han would go first, and then Hondo could actually go because then he gets an order, possibly. You forgo the independent dodge, but you've got other, got a prepared supplies just in case. And you could probably just, actually, no, that's a bad idea because Han's 1-pip is actually 0, so he'd have 0 everything. How does that work? I guess it's a 1-pip, but even though it has 0 pips, would Hondo actually take 0 of everything? That would actually be very interesting. We could try Lando. I know that Sean says Lando is thematic, but probably not the best. If we had Ezra, Ahsoka could go well. Let's make a thematic style list then. So burst, let's just say we're not going to have a ton of points to begin with, so let's just go with what I think is good. So it's either tenacity or seize the initiative. Let's save space with tenacity for now, and let's put those points just in case. And the Allies of Convenience is good to give him an order just in case. But if you're trying to play like the pips with Lando, let's see, because if you're looking at Lando, what cards would you want to bring of his in the first place? The 3-pip might not be something that you want to take all the time. It could be okay if you're trying to shoot with him for sure. Ace up his sleeve. You're probably playing the 2-pip, and it's technically 1-pip to play something else. So I think maybe let's bring both of Hondos. I would say you're probably going to bring A New Beginning, which is a good one. Swift Protector, you're probably playing more often. And I Am No Jedi, definitely. I don't know if Lando would be the greatest commander. But, it is something to think about. Sabine and Mandos could be good. Yeah. They could be good to move ahead of Hondo. I'm looking for maybe threats that could save people from shooting Hondo. So definitely maybe someone's gonna be shooting at Ahsoka. Actually Cassian and K2. I think they would actually be pretty decent with Hondo because now you've got K2 with calculating the odds and Hondo, being able to hand off suppression tokens. So I think it's just a good business. Removes all suppression tokens on him, and then that enemy unit gains the suppression tokens. So if you were to calculate the odds on Hondo and he takes the suppression, that could be really, really good. So maybe you try HQ uplink on K2. So when you play that card that round, you can go with K2SO, and you have to give it to Hondo and a unit. Okay, well, actually, let's just get rid of that for now. Okay, so you definitely have to take the config. You want improv. We have 4 operatives. That's the problem now. We can only have up to the 3. Ew. And we can't take K2 without Cassian. All right, so let's get rid of Ahsoka then, because I like the K2 thing and Cassian. So that could be fun, duck and cover, maybe just in case because of the, danger sense. And then now we need a commander. Leia could be okay if she has Allies of Convenience, or Underworld Connections, I should say. Yeah, the same thing. Can have Hondo make a free move again because he's mostly going to be a range 1 thing. And he's, I guess, Weak Way Cunning is 3 black, and it's up to range 1. So if you have, a 3-pip, you could choose whether you want to do Sonic Imploders and or Frag Grenades, and shoot quite a bit. It'd be 6 black, a white, and a red. Surge to crit. Not too bad. Not too bad. You can make it suppressive if you needed. But yeah, I think the K2SO combo with Hondo could be really, really good. And that's why you have to bring Cassie in. If you wanted, yeah, so Sabine, let's just say you take a Rebel officer. I like the, what is it? Offensive, the Tactician Rebel officer with Recon, the Heavy Blaster, the Impact Grenades was supposed to be the Thermal. And yeah, this is just a cheap way of getting that. Yeah, the Custom Commander, good job, good call, Grant. I think that is actually a really good idea. And so let's try Sabine and Mandos. Let's put them two together, Clan Ren specifically. And you give them the rockets because you want to shoot at range 3 so that you can use Tristan's range 3, the blast. It'll be lethal, suppressive, and then you do the retinue aim so that you can possibly take an aim with the Mandos and then spend 1 for long shot, 1 to reroll just in case, but you already surge, so you might not have to. You might still be able to move to get to that range 3 and then shoot because the rockets, sadly, are 3 to 4 instead of 2 to 4, which would also be pretty awesome to have. If you're going to go with Sabine, maybe you do the electro-grappling line so that Hondo can then, if they're immobilized, they can't move, then Hondo can move in, get it a little bit closer, because that could be good. Prepared supplies, because Nimble is going to be great. And then, you know what? Let's go with the up close and personal to get another dodge from Nimble. Keep her alive a little bit longer. And with Gunslinger, that could be really good together. So there you go. And then a Rebel Officer. You got your 2 ops. Courage 3 commander is important for sure. But now it's just a matter of like what command cards do you want? Yeah, let's just bring his for fun because we're having fun with this one. And you've got Legacy of Mandalore for some more Inspire, just in case she needs to inspire one off of, Hondo. You're definitely bringing Explosions, so you have a 1 and 2 pip that you could probably use. Maybe you do Sabotage Communications, or if you have room for another commander, then maybe you do Leia, because she's got a pretty good 2 pip. Since we're looking for a 1 and 2, oops, too far, a 1 and 2 pip, they could be good together, and that could help with again Hondo's ability to have the X, because you're kind of hoping on the higher pip cards to really do stuff with Hondo, and then the lower pip stuff, you want him in a safe spot. Like with a 1 pip, Courage 1, that's not great. He's probably not going to be doing much anyway, so if he has Pression. So, like, when you're trying to have Sabine really do something good, or you're having to do something really good with, Luke, maybe say you have Luke stuff, then, you want to keep him safe. Unless, at the same time, again, so, like, if we get rid of Mandos and Sabine, and we go back to Ahsoka, Ahsoka's ability to Guardian with Swift Protector, Guardian to Hondo, that could be good. And then Hondo's going to be getting dodge tokens every single time, so Swift Protector could be really good. A New Beginning could be good. You're not going to be able to give him any orders from that, but I mean, it's still not bad. If you did have Leia could still give orders to him if you needed to. But yeah, Ahsoka's burst and reflexes into the fray, and then we're going to save again Tenacity just in case. There you go. Yeah, I mean, that's something, but those are the main people I would put him up with. And Bad Batch could be good. And then hopefully you just have like a bunch of sleeper cells or anything like that. The Battle Recon from the Custom 2 pip to pop past generations is going to be really good for sure with this, but that's just something. Now, does anybody else have other list ideas or any other units they'd like to see? Do you want me to still hash out a full list possibly with Hondo? I haven't really looked into Hondo very much. I know I got a custom Hondo miniature about 3 years ago from Gorka Gorka Chris, the guy who I usually have commissioned to do my minis. He painted one up, and I think I won the giveaway for Hondo, and was able to get that from him. So I already have a Hondo Mini that I'm going to use, and it's a really cool Mini. I mean, I could probably go get it real quick, but I don't want to have too much dead air. And then say that you want to do Lando. He's got improv, and then we'll just finish out a list with this. We're going to go with 2 troopers. We need some sort of longer range. So you do the scattergun, and then let's do some DLTs. You got a lot of other stuff left. So, sleeper cells are doing pretty hot. They're tried and true right now. Astromech's going to be awesome. You're at 10 activations. You still have about 133 points left. You have Allies of Convenience. So technically you could take 2 swoop bikes and do strike and fade. All right, we are 17 points over. Get rid of the Astromechs. Boom. You got 3 points left. And Hondo is packing. And he could do, you could do Comms Jammer instead if you wanted. And you still got 3 points left. The fleets could take an impact grenade in case, because you don't have a lot of impact. And the swoop bikes are good, in my opinion. Obviously from playing Shadow Collective. 12 activations, you've got some fast-moving stuff, so if you really wanted to... Alright, so we'll go with I Am No Jedi, obviously, and, Corellian Spike is probably going to be the other best option for that 1 pip. Sorry. Yeah, because you want Infiltrate with him. So battle plans, because you have very fast units, shifting is going to be good, recover is going to be really, really good, and intercept the signals could be really good because you could, because you have a asset token, you could compulsory move and then shoot. Now you can't strike and fade with that, but if anything, you could, aim, shoot, compulsory move. Aim, shoot, strike and fade, and then compulsory move, because there's your 2 moves. So at least that kind of still gives you some options if you did give them to the bikes. Sweeping clear, because with the bikes you get in enemy territory. Same with burst of speed, possibly. Breakthrough could also be pretty decent because you do have a lot of close range units between the sleeper cells and the fleets, because you've got 2 of them. Hondo, Ahsoka, and Lando with Incognito, but he's going to be getting shot fairly quickly. So in case you didn't want Intercept, you could go with Breakthrough. And then Destroy Enemy Base, because you do have ways to get there if you wanted to. And like I mentioned in the video that'll be coming out on Thursday, when I talked earlier about it, you've got the ability to just split up your opponent if you didn't want to actually play Destroy Enemy Base. That is, something. Now, I am eventually trying to do the live Q&A thing like this, where people can call in and discuss with me their list idea. Like if you've got a list that you're trying to work on and you maybe want some second eyes on there and you just kind of want someone to talk to about it, that could be something that I'm trying to do. And I could pull up TTS so that I could pull up the actual list on there and kind of look at it myself and kind of see, because sometimes seeing it and being able to see all the stuff on there kind of makes it easier to comprehend what's going to be on your table and on your side. But yeah, guys, I don't know where Pally went. I see Grant and Sean still in here, but yeah, if you guys want to call in, technically you could just talk to me on Discord, and you should be able to come through, I think, on the audio here. And I could talk with you about your list. If you want to keep just chatting because you are at work, that's fine with me. Join the chat and check it out. Head on over to El Discordo. What up, Pally? I see you there. Yeah, you go to the Discord and just kind of talk away. I highly recommend coming over and checking it out. Again, you've got the Championnat de France coming up, and Cocozilla will be streaming that. Feel free to join up. It's kind of nice to see all the stuff that you guys are doing. But yeah, that is the Discord for you. Pally's cooking dinner. So let's see. I would be curious what you would do against Commandos with the list I posted. Where is the list that you posted? I forgot what list that what list that is. So tell me what list it is, and I'll check it out. But yeah, what can you do against Commandos? You got to kind of chip away at them, and it is tough after playing against Commandos quite a lot. The Shadow Collective list. Let's see. Let's go to the Discord because that's where we want to go. And let's take a look at Shadow Collective. Where'd it go? It's up here. Sorry, guys. All right. Sean, this is the list that I mentioned. All right, so we have Gar Saxon with a flame projector. We got 2 pikes, one with vigilance, one with lead by example and portable scanners. We've got Bosk with on the hunt. You've got pike foot soldiers with a disruptor and extra guy for the free aim. Lots of range, lots of pikes, 3 swoops with strike and fade. Use your swoop bikes against the Commandos for sure. The fact that they're probably going to expend their armor on maybe a shot, and then they've got no more armor. They can't use their armor against Overrun because it is neither a ranged or melee attack, and they can't use their shield against that either, if I'm not mistaken. So the swoop bikes are probably your best bet. If you had Gar Saxon's, let's see, if you had Gar Saxon's rifle, is that, whoops, no, is that high velocity? No, where is it? It is high velocity, so they can't spend any shields, or sorry, dodges, which is really nice, and it is lethal. Lethal is still really good against them, so if you could do that, that could be something worth looking at. Pike Swoop, Bosk, Saxon, yeah, that list, which I think is a very good list if you're able to continue running it, and I think that it would do really well. But yeah, I think that your swoop bikes are the best option to fight the Commandos, if you can get them there in time, because obviously your bikes are going to die fairly quickly to their sniper config, but the sniper config is range 3 to 4, so if you can close that gap fairly quickly, you're good. So maybe round 1, what I would do is, you do a speed 1 move onto the board, 90 degrees, and so you're basically getting the 2 inches. You're just getting to like the whole base on the board, or you come off on the side, and then you take a dodge, so that way you have 2 dodges, because then you take an independent dodge round 1, and then you do your compulsory move. And that is actually going to help kind of keep you alive, because they will infiltrate and have range 4. And that's 9 inches off the board with 24 inches. So they're basically going to be able to shoot no matter what. But the rifle is 15 points, and it is quite a lot. So yeah, you'd have to give up vigilance on the capo. You might have to give up, lead by example or portable scanner. I'd probably give up portable scanners and emergency transponder. That gives you 10 points, and then the flame projector. Just get rid of the flame projector. So there's your 15 points. Now, obviously, the only thing on Gar Saxon would be the rifle. So you're gonna probably lose out a lot of aims unless you wind up playing the command card. So that turn, you're probably going to be doing fairly well. But I think offensive, if you can find the points for offensive push and the rifle, then I think it starts to get better. Because the fact that you have, a free aim as you move to be able to spend on lethal is good, because instead of long shot, you're probably not going to be spending it on long shot quite a lot, unless like you're doing shifting priorities and you've got him on the corner. And he can still die fairly quickly in melee with like a massive squad of clones. And I mean, yeah, red surging red saves are great and all, but it just takes one bad roll, and that could be just too easy. You have a good gun line, so I think the objectives that you have of shifting, recover, and intercept are fine. You've got 3 swoop bikes for intercept, which is really good, and Gar Saxon, which is really good for moving. So you've got the mobile aspect down fairly okay. And I know you're probably going to be keeping Gar Saxon close to the pikes anyway because of Compel. And I think that's probably the reason why you have Gar Saxon in here instead of something else. It's not. I mean, you can't. I mean, you could put. You put Cad Bane in here at some point if you wanted, but he's still too expensive for what he's doing in Shadow Collective. So that could be fairly tough. So, yeah. I guess it kind of depends. Okay, so Newt Funray, he wants to run a bunch of T-Series, and this is what he threw together to start. So I will go to the live Q&A right here, and let's take a look at this. So we've got 2 T-Series tactical droids. We've got Sunfac naked. We've got 6B1s with the rad cannon and the T-Series tac droid. So if you're running this in real life, you're going to need a crap ton of boxes of T-Series droids. And then you've got the Magna Guards with the smoke grenades. Why not do impact grenades? I mean, sure, the smoke grenades are good, but the Magna Guards are going to be charging in anyway, and, they surge to hit. So why not do impact grenades? Because you've got the heavy laser cannon, and heavy laser cannon, I think that's impact too, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I don't play CIS, but I practically try to learn everything about the units themselves because of how much of the list building that I do and whatnot. So the heavy laser cannon, impact 3. Okay, I thought it was impact 2. So impact 3, yeah, you've got a lot of impact in there. So I mean, sure, you don't necessarily have to have it. You could also do the sonic grenades, which gives you suppressive, and then the Magna Guards. You can if they're in melee, and you're up against a unit that's got a free standby, and you wanted to go first, and you've got retinue, if I'm not mistaken, the retinue for these guys. I think let's see. Is with a commander. Yeah, it is. It's a retinue. Yeah, and so you could do an aim, and then you have the sonic imploders, and now you do a sonic imploder and shoot with the rest. You get rid of their standby, and then you can dodge. So now they've lost a standby. So that could be really, really good. Attack protocols, which is great. Droidicas. So I'm assuming that you're probably giving the 2 T-Series droids the scouting party. Because Sunfac is going to be able to move 3 times anyway, so you don't have to have scouting on him. Your 6B1 droids, maybe you give the scouting party to 2 of them instead. And I'm assuming you're just using the T-Series for direct and for bolster. That is the only reason probably why you take them, because there's generic tactical droids now, and I think that they're so much better. But you're using a T-Series, and it's only 10 points more. I mean, yeah, you're going to put more stuff on there, but yeah, bolster and direct. Exemplar, sure, but why not just bolster and start giving out some surge tokens for it? Like, what was the point for your list? So I like it. It seems like a very fun, meme list, but what is the point of it? So, Anthony, can you share with the class how you would balance units and objective play? I think the most competitive players try to pick 1 to 2 units before going to the objective deck to check themselves. Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on the units that you're picking yourself. So, you're trying to pick the 1 to 2 units that you're building a list around. It's like the T-Series, sure, and that's why you've got the 2 Magna Guards in this. But if you're playing Empire or Clones, you're probably saying let's do a Jedi Force user and or another Jedi Force user, or a Jedi Force user and Bad Batch, and you're kind of limited. Or for me, I wanted to do a Jedi General and Delta Squad because I really like Delta Squad. It's not seen so much, and it's a pretty fun unit to use. Bad Batch is still a pretty fun unit, so you're probably building like 2 of those units, and then you're building around it. And they can do quite a lot themselves, but for trying to pick the objectives deck, you have to think about what the objective decks are doing in the first place. So let's just say close the pocket. To me, when I think of close the pocket, you want a force user, and to me, you want to stack one side as best you can. Maybe put a unit to kind of like fake out your opponent. So maybe what I would do is if I had a strike team, I'd put a strike team here first, and have them start loading the side that the strike team is on, because they're going to have to at least put 2 if they want to try to outscore the strike team. Sure, good. Now if it was a 12 activation list, now it's a 10 activation list over here. And if mine's a 10 activation list, now I have 9 to 10. And I probably have more firepower or more fun things that I can do, because hopefully it's just, 10, because it's a horde list, maybe. What I'm thinking is like GAR versus CIS. And I'll just use my example from Crucible when I played Mastermind. I put Echo Strike Team over here, and he put a lot of stuff on this side, like a Spider Droid, some B1s, and the Geonosians and stuff. And I think he split his army basically 50-50, and then I put the rest of the 90% of my army over here, and I had prepared positions with Anakin. I had a core unit that had direct from the generic commander come onto the board to provide backup just in case. And then, the rest of my army came over here. And then he had sent his Aqua Droids to this side. And round 1, obviously, as we were playing command cards, I decided to do Ordnance and put Ordnance round 1 right here to prevent him from moving into line of sight of Anakin and towards the middle. And so that prevented him from putting his Aqua Droids and Droidekas too close to this and forced him this way more, while some of my guys were closer to the edge and still over here. He decided to pull Grievous and 2 BX Commando Droids over here to attack from this side, because I had my Commandos and my Arcs all over here, and he sent Grievous, both BXs. I sent Anakin and Ahsoka over here. He did a lot of wounds to Ahsoka and a lot of wounds to Anakin, but the beginning of round 2, Ahsoka was able to take out both of the remaining BX droids. So he was now down 2 BX droids at the beginning of turn 2. And then he did Grievous and tried to move in, and then he decided to keep moving his other stuff this way. The main goal is, when I think of close the pockets, I know I was going off on a tangent. I'm really, really sorry, guys. I know I'm boring you. But yeah, I'm trying to stack aside and then take out as much as I can here and overwhelm the middle at some point, because now he doesn't have enough to contest in the middle. The other thing is, I want a force user that has force push to be able to contest the middle, so that's why I take close the pocket. So I don't like close the pocket. It's not one of my favorites, but it's okay. With bunker assault, anything that's got either prepared positions is going to be really good, and infiltrate is going to be really good, because obviously they're really, really close. So I'll think of bunker assault whenever I have those things. Breakthrough, if I got a lot of range 2 units, I will choose Breakthrough. Or anything that is extremely fast in range 2, I will use as well. Like Bad Batch is going to be good, Mandos are good, Swoop Bikes are good. Sleeper Cells with Scout, be able to move and still shoot, is going to be really, really good. But yeah, anything that's range 2 and on, I'll think of Breakthrough. And if I have enough units, like if I have at least 11 units, I'll go with Breakthrough just in case. Intercept the Signals is not my favorite either, because it's kind of like, how do you want to play this? And sometimes, obviously, you go this way. Some people will go that way. Some people go down the middle. Some people will kind of like go like diagonally this way and this way with their units. Like deploy here, start moving this way. Deploy here, start moving this way. So that they're trying to take all this. I had swoop bikes, so I was able to try to just go down the middle. Or if you have an intel token, you go over here and with that one and or another one or two, and then the rest of your army goes this way. Because it depends on what your enemy is doing. So if your opponent is splitting their forces, then obviously going through one side is going to be really good with most of your army to take them out and then go towards the middle, while maybe you spend a tiny bit of resources to go towards the one side that they're all amassing on with your intel token and try to go with them last against some stuff. But intercept the signals. Anything that's fast, I'll play, but I'm not a huge fan of intercept. Recover the research is probably one of my favorites because it's the easiest, obviously, and if you've got fast units, then it's fairly easy to just kind of like by turn 2, you've got swoop bikes that can go over here. You've got aqua droids that are really, really slow. I don't like to do my 3 home and then pick one. It splits up my units a lot, so I try to go after these 4 or these 4, whichever one is good, and I'll stack most of my fast units and some of my fast units and my core onto the back corner or this corner, and then I'll do my heavy hitters over here or over here. So that way, the swoop bikes or anything fast on round 2 can go here, and then round 3, the rest of the army that I moved up to here can now move here in case the swoop bikes disappear. And or if you've got like something that is able to kind of move fast and around, then that's fine. But yeah, usually round 2 you want your swoop bikes here, or I had Maul. He would infiltrate in and then try to by end of round 1 get as close to here, and then round 2 score this one or this one, and then now I've got the ability to get to 4 by all means. But yeah, I don't like this. So it just kind of depends on if you've got fast mobile units. Maybe this is a really, really good one. And then shifting priorities. Obviously, it doesn't really matter what you have for shifting priorities because one of the things that I like to do is to get them to just possibly score 3. If I had a choice, they could score 3. I'll score 2 because then that's 3 more that's coming towards me, and then that was another extra round that I spent shooting at them rather than moving. And now it's moved closer to me. Now I'll just take one move and shoot. They still have to keep moving. So it's a lot easier for me to play this one as well, whether you have short or close range. And then you just kind of spend 1 unit to go this way, or technically over here. There's some people who like the pincer move. They'll go for the outer 2 because most of the people are going to go towards the middle 3 and spend a unit or 2 to go out to the side. So then you just kind of pincer here, let them move the other ones out towards the side. And then the middle one can stay with them because obviously you just need to score 3 out of 2 most of the time to keep winning. But yeah, and then with this, mark targets was fun whenever I had some, capos, because with mark targets you could keep the capos in the back hidden fairly well, and they were not going to ever get into the fight mostly, and so you didn't have to really worry about them getting shot at all. But let me go back to the chat here. So let's see. I'm not married to the B1s. It just feels bad replacing the B2 machine gun with the T-Series. Yeah, if that's the case, then I would just, with the B2s, I still like the reliable from the T-Series on there. And yeah, it's less, health, but you're possibly getting more output in or one more defense shot in. So then it kind of makes up for that wound in one way. Because if you were to get a blank and a surge, well, there goes 1B1. But now you've just got a surge token, and now you're taking 1 wound, and you still keep the B2. That's what I meant, B2. So the T-Series, I guess, is still fairly good, because then you still have a surge you could use offense or defense. Feels like that is a lot of points to sink into an 8-man white save unit. Yes, it is. I think it is a lot to put into white saves. I think you just go with a horde and a heavy, a single 16-point heavy when it comes to the B1s, or you just do the extra guy, and then you spend most of your points on Dooku and Asajj or Aquas and or the crab droid, something like that. What's up, Kitsune? And then do you do the weak flank flex first to bait them to do the strong side, or alternate as needed? How much of what will be in the strong weak do you know before the match, or are you more reactive? I'm assuming this is for close the pocket, so I need to turn on a light. Do that. So with close the pocket, it does. I'm going to pick a side, and If I can fake first with one and it winds up they're going to go on the other side, then I know that their first thought probably is that I'm going to load this side, they're going to load that side. And then if I begin to get too reactive for that, then they're going to start stacking more of them over there. And now I have to get into a fight. So, honestly, it just kind of depends. I guess, I don't know. I just, for Close the Pocket, I want to keep most of my units together. And if we have to meet in the middle and we haven't really killed much, then that's fine. Because there's going to be a huge battle. And with Force Push, you're probably going to be doing a lot more winning because you can push them off of the middle point. If you have a Horde, you want to keep the Horde as safe as you can. And just land, especially if they've got, a vehicle. Try to spread your units out to where they can't get into scoring range with a vehicle. But yeah, let's take a look at the other live Q&A stuff. I know I went on a tangent there with all of the objective decks, but that was a question in the live Q&A. I always thought that players should build the objective decks first, then build a list around the models they want to play with the best decks, but I could be wrong. So, I mean, it just really depends. And I know that we're going to be getting some new objectives soon, and those new objectives are going to be a lot of fun for sure. And from what I've heard, but I think I'm excited for the new ones, and when they come out, I will try to talk about them. Now, the point is just to bring a bunch of T-Series because I like them and stand out from the super tags. I'm not married to the B1s. It just feels like replacing the B2s again. Yeah, so, I mean, sure, you could take those T-Series. I think it's a good meme list. I think it's fun. But I think it could fall fairly quickly to some heavy melee stuff. The rad cannons are a good idea because obviously the extra wound each time is really, really nice. But you're range 2 with them, so you're not shooting them very often unless you're playing like breakthrough and stuff. But yeah, it just kind of depends. I usually go 1 to 2 units before I look at the deck, says Anthony. The way that I can see if there are better units that fit the objectives I end up with, or I just realize I need to go back to the drawing board. So I usually build a list first and around the units I like. And then I'll go to the objectives depending on, like, if I've got fast units, then I'll probably pick this. If I've got units that will fall fairly quickly, Recover the Research is a good one because, again, it's just a matter of keeping one of them alive on an objective, and that can do quite a bit. So, yeah, I think it just kind of depends on that. So, I'm not sure if you guys are still following. I know I'm sorry for the big tangents that I had gone on. Hopefully you're not too bored of me yet. I can go on to more list building, or if you've got more stuff that you are interested in looking at. I guess I should, post what the questions are on screen rather than reading them out for myself. So that would make more sense to give you guys something to look at. Let's see. If we were to look at Shadow Collective, I know we just kind of looked at one. Maul, I think, is definitely needed. And I think some really fun ways to build Maul is, Choke, Burst, Tenacity, and that could be it. 176. And now you've got possibly, 5 red, 4 white, and you've got a 3-pip that allows him to have 3 extra surge tokens, and he's probably going to die fairly quickly anyway, so you're just literally infiltrating him, bursting him in, choking round 1, because you don't have Force Push, unless they decided to move out of the deployment zone, in which case you're just going to annihilate them. And then round 2, you play the 3-pip so that you have a lot of either defensive or offensive surges. And then you recover, you aim, you swing, or you recover, move, swing, and you already have a free aim from that 3-pip as well. And if he goes down, well, that's only 176 points, and you are able to do, like, let's just say you did 6 pikes because you are a maniac, and you did a super big gun line, and you were like, you know what? Let's do a ton of dodge spam here, and we're gonna do 2 pikes, one with improv and one with the ability to have lead by example. And you're at 9 activations. You still have like 247 points left. So you do 3 swoop bikes with strike and fade. And now you're at 12 activations, and you still have 22 points left to do with what you want. So sure, maybe you do the dark saber just for cunning. So that way you actually can go with Maul first in case you had to. And you still have 7 dice at least with surge to crit, which is not too bad. Then you do recon intel on the improv so that you can move, recover, and still hand out some tokens. And then maybe the other one has portable scanners, and then you've got 8 points left over. Ooh, actually, okay, so get rid of portable scanner, and on the bikes you do spotter uplink. And now you've got 5 points left, and you could give maybe a second improv to Maul. It does make him a little bit more expensive. Definitely cheaper than a force push one. But yeah. I've seen a fair bit of Shadow Collective Maul with Anger Saber Throw. And Into the Fray, maybe improv. So yeah, that is definitely a good one, Sean. I think that, having the free aim and then Saber Throw is pretty decent. I've seen David Zelenka do a Maul that, let's see, he had... What did he have? He did Saber Throw for sure and Burst. But I think if you're going to do that, you just take Clairvoyance. And so he used him more as like peekaboo. So he would move, Saber Throw, and then move back behind cover or something like that in line of sight. So he would maybe, jump over something, Saber Throw, and you can't jump again, but you can at least move around or something like that. But that could be good, and you're throwing 4 red each time, and you've got Pierce 2. So that's a fun, really cheap one to have. And with Clairvoyance, maybe you blank out or you surge everything. You could re-roll it, but you'd have to not exhaust it, but expend it completely. So not the best, but I use Clairvoyance strictly for defensive purposes. Let's take a look at some of my favorite galactic builds with the Jedi and Operative. Now I'll probably do a clone, a clone list next week with these two guys. But you have the Jedi General. I've got him usually with the Guardian, Burst, Push because I love Push. I cannot help it. Force Adept, and then you have Clairvoyance. So now Burst and Clairvoyance is exhaustible instead of expendable, so you have Clairvoyance each time, and Burst each time, and then Force Push, and then you have a double-bladed lightsaber, so that you have Tactical 1 and Charge, and this training slot could be Into the Fray or Tenacity. Obviously, those are the only two that I think are worth it, and you're at 180 already, but so 184, 186. As you see, I've got the 186 here and the 184 here because I build them quite often. But the fact that you would use Force Push, and the reason I have Force Push on here is not only because I really like it objectively, but you're probably going to want to use it to trigger Ram each single time. And that way you are always going to get probably 5 hits through each time. And then while you have an aggressive Jedi, your Jedi Knight here could do, steady, and then he has the twin lightsabers for the high velocity and Pierce 1, because the Counselor gets steady. Yep, Impact 2 and Blast. Your lightsabers are also Impact 2 but Pierce. So there's really no point in this one unless you just want Blast. You don't Surge, so I would assume that 4 black is probably a lot better, because you're also keeping him for Hope and for the Barrier. There it is. And you're bringing Acumen on him to give guidance out, so he's just a cheap unit that stays behind, and you would move. You use Acumen to guidance a trooper, and then you move, and then you could shoot. So you're really doing a lot of manipulating the board and still getting a good shot in. And then Gordon Fruman in the chat says, I'm currently working on a double swamp, triple bark Yoda list. Oh gosh, that sounds fun. I'm assuming Cody is in there, maybe? Have you messed with using spotter uplink on lats to give your army sharpshooter? I have not, but that sounds like a lot of fun. I should actually build a list like that real quick. The thought here is that the lat can't be in melee, correct? So the only way to turn off sharpshooter is to kill it. Yes. So, you know what? Let's keep those two just in case. Let's do a lat. And I'm interested still of Gordon Fruman. I still want to know if you've got Cody in there. So you do door gunner, you do spotter uplink, and you do, let's do armor piercing because that's fun, right? And then let's see, the clone shock pilot is going to hand out some surges, and it can also hand a surge after an attack. So you do, you attack with the armor piercing shells, then you get a free attack basically with the door gunners. So you can hand out 2 surge tokens. Maybe the first shot you hand out the surge token to the lat, because then when you do the door gunners, more than likely for some reason you're just going to roll surges. I don't know why it happens, but it does. And then after the door gunner, then you hand out the surge token to somebody else. So that could be a lot of fun. And so now we've got 3 activations. We're at 413. Oof. Obviously, you don't have to have an expensive Jedi here. That's fine. But let's take a look at some marksmen, shall we? And a clone infantry. Because since we have acumen, let's make the most use out of the fact that you can guidance these guys. Let's do Ahsoka and the DP with a specialist, so that we could put her into the lat on the clone trooper infantry. And then with the marksman, obviously you do your mortars, and let's try a specialist to get a free aim just in case, because that's an aim, dodge, or surge. And you could always use the Jedi Knight to guidance or recover for the specialist, or a move, so that then that way they can aim, shoot. The clone specialist is mostly there for an extra body, and then maybe you do 2 clone medics there. And then on the clone infantry, you don't really have anything to guardian, so maybe you do Waxer, and you do the Z6, and you do a clone infantry squad, because why not? Seems fun, right? And then you do targeting scopes, and then you do offensive push. So you scout, you move, you get a free aim, and then boom, there you go. Or you don't have much surgeon, but at least you got an aim, and maybe the clone marksmen have an extra aim. Maybe you aim, clone specialist aim, you shoot, you got 3 hits and a crit. Well, and you got sharpshooter 1 maybe, because now the lat is ahead. You save an aim for the clone troopers to get another one. Another thing that I liked a lot, and it was kind of way more expensive, but doing a clone commander in a Z6 with the clone infantry squad, because this gives you reliable 2, and then now you have a free aim here. And then you can guidance with the Jedi at free recover. So then you move, you get a free aim again, and you shoot. So that allows you, again, to pop offensive push. Or you could just guidance and aim. Either or, at least you're getting lots of aims between either guidance or at least moving. 7 activations, 931, and then your Ahsoka squad is still being protected, hopefully a little bit more. And then you still got some room for something. I don't know what you could do. A bark speeder, sure, with spotter uplink for fun and strike and fade, so it could get into a good position. I don't know. That gives you 2 points. Maybe on the Ahsoka squad, then you do environmental gear so that she can get there. And that's your 8 activations. And you've got a very aggressive knight that can constantly use clairvoyance and burst and push. A Jedi Knight in the back that has steady with high velocity, twin sabers. You've got, the clone infantry that's going to be in the lat that's moving forward. Sure. I mean, the reason I have the other spotter uplink with the bark speeder, one is because points, and two, now you have sharpshooter too. If you can get that thing in melee, or not melee, but close enough for the melee stuff, Pally. Does that sound kind of fun? So going back to Gordon Freeman, no Cody because the luminous beings can give orders to everybody. Yes. Yeah. Sure, I haven't. Yeah, I mean that's fine, and they all have spotter uplinked to give them aims, or link targeting array. I'm sure to get aims. How good have you found door gunners to be without surging to hit? I have not found them any good without any kind of surge tokens. Yes, they are pretty lackluster if you're looking at it because let's just face it, not having the surge is hard. It's harsh. I don't like it. So even with the door gunner on the bus, with Maul's 3-pip, that allows your bus, if you really truly had an attack bus, go with the attack bus first, because it gives it to Maul and 2 other buses or units. So you give it to the first one, and then they can move and then shoot, because then you have an aim. You shoot with the 6 gun, the quad laser, whatever it is, I think. And you have a free aim, so you use that. And then you spend any surge tokens you want, and then you door gunner, and you have 3 more surge tokens that, if you didn't use them for the first attack, to use for that one. So it's not too bad. Honestly, I would love to have Cody, but no points. Yeah, I just think Cody could be really good to make sure that you're giving an extra order token to whatever vehicle, like the swamp speeders. That could be really good, especially with link targeting array on them a lot, and then they can hand out those observation tokens, especially on the 3-pips or the 1-pip for Cody, and or for Yoda in case he has to move and attack. And so I think that Cody could be good. I'm doing good, Levi. What's up, man? I hope that you're enjoying the video. I've got 6 of you guys in here, so I feel like that's pretty decent for the first time doing this with really no announcements. I'm going to be trying to do this every Monday if I can to kind of build up some of the community again, because I just love list building and helping people with their lists. It's just a lot of fun. The lat or the truck are the only things I have found the door gunner even marginally useful on. Yes, again, yeah. The AA5 bus and the lats with the door gunner are really, really good. Now the Gav tank can take door gunner, and that could be really, really good. So I think that is also a really fun one, because then you could give it the surge to hit, surge to hit pilot, and so now your door gunner is probably a little better. If you have any suggestions, I'd love to see you do a Yoda list. Valley sounds like a blast. Oh yeah, I think that list could be fun. I think you could make it better because you obviously have a lot more fun. And yes, LTA on the swamps. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. Not the spotter uplink. Okay, so a Yoda list. There's been, let's see. Let's get rid of all of this stuff. Let's redo it and go back to Yoda. So Yoda and Rex are a very good pair, because obviously giving Yoda the Scout 2, because obviously you're doing Recon Intel, is going to be really, really awesome to have. Or Yoda and, because I put Yoda in here. Yeah, so Yoda and Rex and how I usually build them out. Ooh, that's Ahsoka. Yeah, Recon and Improv, Burst, Mind Trick, and Push. With the Marksman now, let's actually build a Yoda Marksman list. I have not done that, so let's do that. So, all right, we'll take Rex. For fun, instead of Jedi Mind Trick, because you at least already have a way to hand out suppression if you really wanted to. Let's go with Guidance to hand out some surge tokens to those Marksmen. And let's do Bad Batch, because why not? That's a lot of fun. And let's do 3 Marksmen. And again, the Mortars for the extra critical 1. If you really wanted an RPS in one of them, that's fine as well. Since they've got prepared positions, we don't need Boil or Waxer. Um, with Rex in there, you're probably playing most of Yoda's command cards. This is where so this is what it makes it harder for list building for me, is figuring out what command cards you'd like to use with the units that you have. So you're probably going to be playing Yoda's cards a lot more than Rex's command cards. You're definitely going to be playing Rex's 1 pip when he's close enough to be able to use it to help Yoda with 1 attack to have 7 attack dice, 7 red, pierce 2, surge to crit. And then if he were to attack again, that is really good. Then you'd have 4, so you're technically just rolling 11 attack dice red against whatever unit it is, and it's probably going to die. And I mean, especially against the Bad Batch, that's 11 attack dice. They're going to be rolling quite a bit of defense, so you might not take them out in that 2 hits, but yeah. So with the mortar, yeah, the clone commander is expensive, but it could give you an extra surge token to use in case. So that way, you're really not having to re-roll or use 1 aim to get maybe 1 crit, maybe 2 out of this attack. If you got critical, sure, that's also great. But I think the specialist is really, really good. They don't in Tabletop Admiral, for some reason, he doesn't have the generic 14-point extra guy for some reason. But yeah, that's just something that needs to be updated. You're definitely not putting Ahsoka in here because of their speed 1, and you're not putting 5s in here for the most part. Again, you're losing out on charge because of the speed 1. You're not really making the most of them in here. If you've got the points for Clone Commander, then that's fine, but usually with Yoda in here, you don't have the extra points. So you're probably just going to leave that with the Clone Medic, so that way you can actually get an extra dice and revive one of your guys. It's this extra that might be a little bit difficult to choose from, but round 1, you could play Yoda's 3-pip and still give them orders because the range doesn't necessarily matter. And now they all have a dodge, and you're probably going to be moving Yoda on first because now Yoda's 3-pip gives him the 2 aims, 2 dodges, and 2 surges. And so your round 1 is going to be really, really good. And you could still hand out even more surges with Force Guidance. So now their defense is even better between your 2 dodges, their individual dodge, and the amount of surges that are out there on the board. And so, yeah, that's really, really good. What I have found that I like, and it's been used against me once by Canadian Bear, and I don't think he's done it the same since. I could be wrong, but I would play Bad Batch's 3-pip round 1. Kind of forces your opponent to deploy backwards a little, because they don't want to get too close, obviously, unless they're just okay with losing a unit. That's fine. And then round 2, then using Yoda's 3-pip, because round 1 you're probably moving Bad Batch super far forward, but between the scouting party and a double triple speed move. And then so the next round you could either do Captain Rex's 2-pip to have Bad Batch take an aim, move back. Now they are able to shoot at range 3 and take out another unit. Or you play Yoda's 3-pip round 2 because he can share his tokens with Bad Batch at that point because of the effect of the card. So now Bad Batch has 2 aims and possibly an aim with a dodge cash and 2 dodges from the 3-pip. So now they're going to be in really good shape, plus the extra surge tokens as well. And then maybe round 3, you play Captain Rex's 2-pip to be able to have Bad Batch take an aim, move back again, continually fishing and or kiting, I guess I should say, kite your opponent into your area that you want. And then you can then use Yoda's 2-pip to give Captain Rex Relentless, so he can double move onto somewhere, get 2 aims, and then Gunslinger. And then now Yoda also has Relentless, and then you play Yoda's 1-pip. So that is a really fun way. Sorry, guys. That's a really fun way to utilize, I think, the command cards and their abilities So that, I mean, sure, but at least you've got marksman a lot of here. It's a pity that you can't put a third commander in there, but you do. Okay, so you can't do general. You can't do, you know, the doctrine general of the Republic with sadly a Jedi Knight. But if you want two different guidances on these guys, like I said, I like the Twin Sabers and the Consular. No, yeah, Consular with that, so that you have a way to hand out some stuff, and you got barrier, so you're now protecting these guys a little bit more. And all right, Pally, I will catch you later. And let's see. You still have 140 points left, and you've got some long range. You need something to generate some sort of, just do 2 naked arcs. And that could possibly generate some more tokens for the marksman, on top of possibly using the Jedi Knight to guidance a free aim, guidance a move. You've got Yoda that can guidance a move, but he's probably working with the Bad Batch or Captain Rex. This could be somewhat fun. At least you have, with the RPS, some sort of extra impact. You've got lots of critical in here. If you wanted to save 3 points, you could, and just go with the mortar and do something with that. You could take off the clone medics from them and just put them on the arcs. So now you've got your normal arcs at that point. And your marksmen are pretty decent with 6 dice at range 3. You could spin the aim or guidance and aim, and then they take an aim. So now you have 2 aims. You do 1 for long shot and 1 for marksman. But with critical 1, it's pretty decent. I found that I'm getting like 1, maybe 2 crits with them with a naked squad. And with the mortar, you're doing pretty well, I think. Because suppression does help with the fact that it's suppressive. So yeah. But yeah, guys, do you think it's fully okay to have no vehicles in your Republic list? Yes. I hardly ever run vehicles in my Republic list, so you don't have to have them to have a really good functioning Republic list. But yeah, my Yoda pairings, like I said, are Rex and possibly Bad Batch, but definitely Rex and Chewbacca. Ahsoka Tano could be good with Yoda, because the fact that you can guidance her a move, which is speed 3, and then when she goes, she could do a speed 3 move and then attack, since she doesn't have charge. So I think Yoda and Ahsoka could be okay. And I think that's mostly it with Yoda. I have yet to try Yoda with the Jedi Knight or the Jedi General. But when I think Yoda, I want Rex in the list or Chewbacca to help move Yoda along to get into the thick of the fight fairly quickly, because I don't want to waste 2 rounds before Yoda really starts to be super active in the fight. And with Rex and or Chewbacca, it allows me to do more with other units and Yoda, rather than doing the most I can with these units, and then maybe at the end of round 2, definitely round 3, Yoda getting into the fight. Usually it's like round 2 for sure, Yoda's getting in the fight with Rex or Chewbacca. But that's my opinion. I'm new to Yoda, so I'm trying to figure him out. Yeah, Yoda, with the fact that you're going to be using the Force Wave quite often on the 2-pip because of Relentless. You move, you shoot the Force Wave, you move again, shoot the Force Wave. You're probably using Yoda to burst of speed that round. So you play the 2-pip, give your orders to Yoda, obviously, and whoever else. They gain their dodges from the card, and then they've got situational awareness basically on them that round. You speed 3 Yoda, and you Force Wave. It's suppressive. Then you speed 3 Yoda again. You Force Wave. He's now got an immobilized token, and then next round you're probably playing the 1-pip so that he's at least speed 2 and can still move when you don't have Yoda. Chewbacca. If you do have Chewbacca, you've probably given Chewbacca the other order to have Relentless, and so he can move and double move and then shoot his critical 1, impact 1, pierce 1 gun. And then the next round you play Chewbacca's 2-pip, and so Yoda doesn't have to care about the immobilize token, and then you just double move with Chewbacca and shoot. Hopefully, you're trying to bring Yoda as close as possible to other units, so that Yoda can force wave those 2 units, and then the next round you play Yoda's 1 pip, and now he's speed 3 all over again, and he can just charge like crazy, disengage, charge like crazy, force push, and you probably have Jedi Mind Trick at that point, and then you Jedi Mind Trick something. It's crazy. I mean, but then if you're playing close to pocket and you play the 1 pip, you could move, charge, force push, recover, force push again, and then Jedi Mind Trick somebody. Because with his 1 pip, you can use any of his free abilities twice, but you have to recover it back because it's exhausted after you play him. So that's how you do it. But yep, guys, it is an hour, so I will go ahead and head out. I know it's kind of been a little over an hour, but if you liked this video, leave it down in the comments down below that you liked it. Tell me what you liked about it. If there's something, again, next week that you want me to go over more, think of it. You have a whole week to think about what you want to do, and let me know. But I've got to head out, guys. I hope you had a great time, and that is it. All right, guys. I will see y'all later. Peace out. Thank you guys so much for joining up and taking the time to watch. Thanks, Sean. Thanks, Gordon Freeman. Thanks, Pally. Thanks, Grant. Thanks, Levi, for all of you guys watching. I appreciate it. And yeah, y'all take it easy. And join the Discord. It's easy. I'm always there. All right, guys.